Earlier this month, Joe Budden was charged with lewdness in New Jersey. On December the 30th, the Edgewater Police Department released a statement about the incident which took place after the news of the charge broke out online. And we know online, it grows legs, arms, feet, and heads. It stated that the officers were called to an apartment complex at about 7:21. The Edgewater Police Department said that the caller was alerted by their Ring camera that someone was outside their home. And when they looked at the footage, they claimed Joe Budden was standing outside naked. The caller also claims that video shows Budden attempting to enter a code into the resident's door keypad several times before heading back into his apartment. The resident also says that he has two juvenile daughters who also observed Joe Budden being naked on their Ring doorbell camera. But it's also known that Joe Budden has already been having some kind of issues with his neighbor, because on his podcast, he claimed that he was kicked out of his apartment for continuing to record episodes of his podcast. And also previously on his podcast, he said that he was a sleepwalker that walks in the nude. Well, December the 30th, the Edgewater Police Department, Donald A. Martin, which is the chief of police, did a press release. And in his press release, he said, on December the 4th, 2024, at approximately 7:21 a.m., the Edgewater police were dispatched to an apartment complex for the report from a resident that a man was standing outside of their apartment door completely naked. The caller recognized the man as a neighbor, Joseph Budden Jr. The caller was alerted to Budden by their doorbell camera. The video depicted Budden attempting to enter a code into the door keypad several times before re-entering his own residence across the hall. As a result of police investigation, Budden was charged with lewdness 2C 14/4A, disorderly persons offense. Chief Martin states that these charges are merely accusations and that the defendant is presumed innocent until unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So then Joe Budden's attorney got involved in this, Nima Amiri of the Amiri law firm, and she fired back at the Edgewater Police Department. And she said, Mr. Budden is saddened by Police Chief Martin's press release. Mr. Budden has been waiting weeks for his cross complaints to be processed, which include substantially more serious charges, include possible felony charges against the persons behind these charges against him. The chief has, in our opinion, sat on those, but instead used his time to gain some free publicity for himself. Chief Martin should seek publicity by doing notable policing, not inflaming disorderly person allegations. And Mary added, the allegations against Mr. Budden are a minor charge, not even resulting in an arrest charge. Mr. Budden is looking forward to beating it in court on the merits, not in the press. The chief's comments are reckless and, in our opinion, racially motivated. Our research has not shown a single press release on a disorderly person charge on the police website this year. His choice to single out Mr. Budden, in our opinion, is self-motivated and based off Mr. Budden's race and celebrity status. Well, regardless of his attorney saying it has to do with race and celebrity status, Joe Budden still has a court date scheduled for next month. I'll say this about it. I don't know how much it has to do with race. I would say it could have something to do with complaints, like the tenants complaining about the Joe Budden podcast being filmed there and them making the noises and laughing and being loud all types of the night because they're making a podcast. But to be racially motivated, I can't buy that one. But what I will say is it could have some sort of harassment type to it because it has disturbing the peace, but they're probably not actually disturbing the peace, but they're probably a little loud. And yeah, Joe Budden is a celebrity. Is he that big of a celebrity where they would come at him? I'm not saying he is or he ain't, because he's a pretty big celebrity, but he's not like a Denzel Washington or somebody like that your celebrity status is so big that people know you're at this apartment complex and now it's hundreds of people outside the building trying to talk to you. we know his status ain't like that. So it's kind of tricky for the things that the attorney is saying. Yeah, he can possibly beat the case, but one thing that beats us all the time, people, is the footage. If the man actually has this on Ring doorbell camera, at the least, he'll probably get lewd acts. But guess what comes with the lewd acts? By him having these minor daughters in there, he could possibly end up on one of those Megan Law websites, you know, where you have to register for some kind of offender. Because you know you can get in trouble and have to register for that kind of stuff for something kind of like minor, like you pissing outside by a school in the middle of the night because you had to pee real bad. Hey, they could charge you and now you have to register. And now you're on a sex offender's website. So these things get tricky. But at the end of the day, peace to Joe Budden. Like his show. Don't know him personally, but in my humble pie, he's a good individual. But, you know, it just goes to show you, doesn't matter about your celebrity status or whatever. You still have a real life, too, that you live. We still people at the end of the day. We still have issues. Nobody's a perfect P. But, hey, we got to deal with whatever comes our way. And this right here is something. I understand he says he's a sleepwalker that sleeps in the buff, but maybe you have to handcuff yourself to the bed. I don't know. But this could land you in a serious situation because you know the internet is going to run with it if you have to sign up as a sex offender because you just was walking in your sleep in the buff. So this thing has a little twist to it. And definitely, too, could it be a little money grab? Could it be the police wanting to get some fame? You know, because we're in social media era. Everybody wants fame. Whether it's the police, the judge, the ball player, the rapper, everybody wants this media fame. And that's just what it is. Everybody wants to be somebody. Everybody wants to get shouted out on the internet. And so, therefore, people do the wildest shit we ever could think about. And not saying that about Joe Budden because he's already made his mark on the internet. He's already made his mark in social media. He's already made his mark in music. He's made his mark in movies. So he's good. But it's unfortunate that something like this happened. And it happened, especially if he's being honest about being a sleepwalker that sleepwalks in the nude. Hey, I don't know what you could do about it other than handcuff yourself to the bed. And with that, I'm going to say this is the news in you. North, east, west, south, unite from every alley and Cali, intersection and back street. Subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up on your way out the door.
Star child, I never
seen the sunshine like this.
I never
seen the moon glow like
hey yo, I never
this. Never seen the waterfalls like this.
I never
Never seen